Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name is Tim. Last video, I drove this thing around for several miles. Everything was going fairly well, and I noticed that I've got a transmission fluid leak, and I think it's in the transmission cooler lines. So I need to get those replaced, and I figure I might as well go ahead and change my transmission fluid as well. So let's get to it. Alright, so my new trans cooler lines are here. I actually had to go with the kind that says it's for the Turbo Hydromatic 400, so I'm hoping it will be okay. Did borrow a bending tool from my buddy. Hopefully I won't need to use it. The last time I tried to work with any metal lines, I kinked it, so I want to be able to hopefully be able to get this to fit correctly without too big of a bend. But let's get the old one out. I should probably put a drain pan underneath, because this is going to be a little messy, I think. Alright, I will get these lines off, and we've got to jack it up to get the ones off at the trans. Okay, there is a little clamp holding those on, and I've got to get that loose. Alright, so it looks like it's just held down by the bolt. Alright, now it's time to loosen up these little suckers that are nice and hidden. Alright, so I had to cut the lines to get them off. It's just at such a weird angle. But got them broken free. Hopefully I can get the nuts off now, putting a socket over it. But at least they're free. I just hope I didn't do any damage to the trans. Alright, got one out. And the second one is out. Alright. So here's old versus new. They look somewhat close, and then yet completely different. Look how far that one seems to stick out. Well, that one drops straight down. That one drops straight down. And that one goes out that way. But these two are the closest. They're actually not terribly far off. I may have to just bend this one up a little bit. I don't know how much I bent them trying to get them out either, but that one is just a massive difference. I'm gonna have to do a bend here to try to get it more vertical. So yeah, I see some bending in my future. I think I'm doing this right. Yeah. Okay, I bent that and that. That's my first time ever. And I don't think I kinked it. So yeah, maybe this will work after all. Alright, so I've set this one in. It's not, kind of hard to see, it's not terribly far off. I guess I'll just have to sort of bend it as I go and see how close we are. Alright, so I've got it setting there. Now I need to see what it looks like up top. I'm sure, again, it's just going to be a lot of bends until I get it right. Alright, so there's what I just showed you. God, it's almost too long. Like I've got it all the way here. I'm bending it now. I guess I could make it work. I had to bend it. And it doesn't really line up as well right there as I would like. Where that clamp normally goes, the other clamp went down. Okay, I gave it a little bit more of a bend this way so that it's not trying to shoot that way at the hole, it's going a little bit more this way. And that might actually also shorten it a little bit. So that might help. Let's see if that fits. I tell you what, I've gotten up and down enough from this cart checking this. If I don't have abs by the time this thing is done, I'm going to be pissed. So there it looks like it's headed directly towards it. And let's go check the top again. Another ab workout. Yeah, I think that's going to do it because it's really just a matter of lining this up and putting it straight in. All right, so I'm going to leave this side loose so that I can get that one threaded. All right, honestly, this is what I hate about doing metal lines, is getting it lined up in order to screw it in. It just never ever wants to thread correctly because I probably just don't have the angle perfect. But I did run a thread chaser down through there. Wanted to make sure I cleaned it out as much as possible. The other thing I've done is I've taken my wrench and run it down the line because it's going to have a better shot of hopefully getting this thing tightened up. With this on there, I just can't get a wrench in there to do anything, so hopefully this will help, and then I can feed it back off the other side if I hopefully remember to do that. My gosh, I think I did it. My wrench was almost stuck. All right, got it started. Yeah, I'll see if I can get it as tight as I can because I do not want to have to get back down here and tighten it up again. I think that's as tight as I'm going to get it. Sure seems like an awful lot of threads sticking out, but there's also not a ton of threads in there, so I think I'm going to be okay. If not, I may have to get somebody else to tighten it up for me who can get their hands in. I just can't. It's like trying to do this. I just can't do it. But anyway, on to the next one. All right, so this one fit up fairly well to it. Just need to get it nice and tight. I always fear of stripping these things, but this one's got a nice fit. It slid right in, caught the threads right away, and yeah, I'll wrap this one up. This one is not nearly as off. I think only this, but that's what goes into the radiator, and this might have gotten bent coming out because I did have an issue getting it out. was a little frustrated and ripped it. But this is pretty close. So I'm going to check and see how this one does. See how it looks. All right, it's sitting just below it, but I'll call that good because it looks like it's going in at the right angle. And if anybody tells me that that one was supposed to be up there and that one's supposed to be down there, I do not care. I do not care because I got that one in and I don't care. All right, so that one is where I just showed you. I haven't touched it. That one is pretty close, but I do not like that angle. Yeah, that's the only thing. That thing is only about a half an inch maybe below the line hole, and it's pretty far over here to the right, and it's going, if I force it over, oh, it may work. I just see it going in at the wrong angle. Oh, bright light, bright light. I got that one in down there, and I've got this one lined up here. I think this is going to work. All right, so I'll get this one tightened up, and we should be good to go with our trans cooler lines. Okay, while I'm under there, I think it's time to tackle the transmission fluid. Long time ago, I drove this car, overheated it, and the tranny fluid does not look all nice and cherry red. It's kind of darkish red. So I'm going to do a fluid change. So I've got my filter gasket, and I'm not really sure how that's supposed to go on. Doesn't really match up with anything, but this one from Wix came with a gasket. What I'm not crazy about is trying to get this to lay flat. So what I did pick up was this from Moroso. What I like about this is nice and flat. Believe it or not, there are not that many TH350 transmission fluid change videos on YouTube, so I thought I would do one. A lot of people have advice on how to get the gasket to stay on the pan. Some say use glue, some say you don't use anything. There's all kinds of things out there. There isn't even a single sort of agreed upon amount for the torque for the bolts for the pan. Some say as low as 8 foot-pounds, some say 11, it goes up to 18, which I think sounds ridiculous. So I think what I'm going to do is shoot for 10. But again, I'm also going to try something else because people were talking about gluing it down. People were talking about using RTV to keep it down. Some people say don't use anything. So I'm going to try something kind of unique and see if it works. So here's my pan. Doesn't seem like it's going to be too crazy. Just a bunch of 1/2-inch bolts. What's really going to be crazy is, yeah, it's these bolts in here. See if I can get some light on it. Yeah, there are 2 bolts in there. This first one, I don't think I'll have trouble with. The second one, it's a little bit covered up by that metal lip. So I think I shall try to get that one off first since it's the hardest. Hopefully what I can do is let it down a little bit, leave this backside on for a heartbeat while it drains out, and then slowly let it out, because what I don't want to do is make a huge mess. Sure enough, that does not want to come out, so it's going to be hard to get the other one out. Smallest socket I have. No. Let's try a short socket. There we go. Well, it says 10 foot-pounds, and I'm sorry, but that was a fairly tight 10. Oh God, just getting that thing started. Should I remove the cross member to do this? Maybe. Am I going to? Oh, no way in hell. Man, how am I going to get to that? To put it back in? I can't even get it in. One finger in to take it out. Holy crap. Alright, I think it fell out somewhere. It's starting to flow now. I've got the other side off. There is sort of a spring shifting piece over on that side. That isn't on this side, so I've got to make sure I put that back in correctly. Coming harder and faster now. All right, it's pouring. All right, time to loosen up the back ones. I don't want to take those out, so I'm not going to use the impact. All right, that is all of them loosened up. Do I have all of these? Oh, it's not going to just drop for me, is it? This is going to be a mess. Let's take this corner one out. All right, there's one left. It's not going to cooperate. Oh. What the hell's still holding it? Not good. Oh, so not good. It's all over the floor. Oh, yeah. All right, so it looks like someone was murdered here. I was not planning on going in that direction, but it's out, and I gotta clean up a lot of transmission fluid. Should not have been wearing my Apple Watch. All right. So the good news is, look how clean that surface is. I'm really just going to have to wipe it down. Change the filter, of course. And, all right, so it looks like the two holes that are closest is the front. See how there's less space here, more space back here. And from this side, that one is farthest away. All right. And those feel like flathead screws. Since I'm already here and messy, might as well take this out and try to figure out the position for that gasket. That is my gasket. All right, so it goes on away from me. All right, so I kind of wanted to show you what I was talking about and why I needed to change the fluid. Hopefully you can see that. That is not very bright. Oops, not very bright red. And you can see there are little bitty slivers of metal Nothing ginormous, but yeah, I mean, it definitely needed to get some of this old stuff out. I know all of it doesn't come out, and this isn't probably half a jug kind of thing. But let me get this cleaned up, and oh my God, let me get that murder scene cleaned up. Oh, I got transmission fluid in my eye. Hoping this comes off in one piece. Yay. Yeah, this just needs cleaned. There's no... This was a sort of brand new transmission when I bought it. It was $250 back in 1997. But yeah, they didn't use any RTV, so it's going to be pretty easy to go ahead and clean. I'll get this cleaned up and see if we can get it back in. Got it cleaned up. Got it degreased. Gonna give it a splash of paint. Get it back up in there. Luckily, it wasn't over tightened at any point. None of the bolts appear to be lifted up, like, you know, crushed. So I think we'll be good there. Like I said, I just want to, I've already used some degreaser on it. Just need to paint it. Got some new stickers, yay! But I gotta say, this thing is one mother of a gasket. Look at that. Man. That is solid. Wow. I hope the bolts are long enough to go through the pan holes and into the thing and still be able to get a grip. Jeez. Alright, she's all dented up, but at least it is painted. Yeah, that was just for me to get all the gunk and grime and stuff off of it and not have exposed metal. So not supposed to be pretty, but it is painted. So now that I'm looking at this thick gasket, what I was going to do was get a jack under the car, jack the pan up, and then put my bolts in. And I was going to use just regular, like, wheel bearing grease, coat that, get that to stick. If I were using something like this one that came with the filter, I probably would, but this thing is so nice and sturdy, I don't think I'll have a problem getting this up, putting in the bolts, lining it back up again, and then just going along and getting all the bolts back in. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and try to put this up as is, no grease and no jack. Alright, I've got them all started. I actually used that to pull it away just enough that I could get that bolt started. I still need to start with this side. What I'm going to, this one of them is buried. The holes that are in that thing do not match up to the whatchamacallit, to the pan. So what I'm going to do is torque that one down first, cover it up, put that bolt in that does match, and then I'll come back over here, work my way out, and go back and forth. Alright, they're all torqued down to 10 foot-pounds. This one was a little tricky. I had to actually use a longer bolt. Right, where is it? Yeah. Went with the same bolt, but I had to do it a little longer because the length of that piece plus the extra thick gasket. So we're all good now. Trans is done. Modulator's hooked up, new filter, got some fluid in there. All right, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. I'm not gonna be able to like test to make sure there's no leaks because I still need to mess with the distributor. I think I'm having a misfire issue somewhere, whether it's the distributor, the plugs, wires, something feels off. That'll be in the next video, but I do think that I've got the transcooler lines hooked up well and I've got the fluid changed since I was down there. I hooked the modulator back up and I can add new fluid. I don't really have to replace a ton. It only looked like about maybe a quart, 2 quarts came out. So I don't really see how you can change your trans fluid completely. I just don't think it can be done. I think you have to do it in cycles. But one cycle is done for now. Hopefully that'll be good enough and clean enough that it'll protect the car while I'm on the power tour. So thank you very much for watching. Like if you got anything out of it, leave me a comment below if you have suggestions, comments, questions, and subscribe if you can. Always helps the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will catch you next time.